Hi guys, my name is Mayank and welcome back to my channel. In this video, I wanted to talk about Atomic Habits, which is one of my favorite non-fiction books of all time. I know I've talked a lot about this book. In this video, I wanted to talk about mainly a review of the book, and I wanted to share with you 8 lessons which I have learned from this book in a hope that it is going to help you as well to make your life better and maybe live your life in a more productive and healthy way. The first lesson of this book lies actually in the meaning of the title itself. So when you hear the term atomic habits, you might think of what atomic habits actually mean. So atomic is something which is very small. It comes from the word atom, and habits are things that are repeated over a period of time. So what the author is trying to say that if you are repeating habits, even though they seem small, if you repeat them over a period of time, you're going to get a great benefit from them, and this is known as compounding. I think compounding is mainly related in financial terms, but also it comes handy when it comes to habits. When you invest small amounts of money regularly over a long period, the return you will get on that is extraordinary, and that also applies to habits. So if you are following small habits which are helpful, if you do them over a period of time, they will give you the results, but you need to stick with them. So how to stick with habits? That's where the second lesson comes in, which is that if you need to stick with habits, you have to track them somewhere. What happens is when we are starting any new habit, you might not be motivated enough to do it. When I started reading books first, I was not motivated enough to complete them because I was reading 10 pages a day, I was reading 15 pages a day, but I was not really going anywhere because the book was 300, 400 pages long. So what I started doing was that I started to track them. I used to write a book journal every day, and I recorded that today I read 10 pages. Next day, today I read again 10 more pages. This helped me to see that I was making progress, and finally I was able to complete the book. So if you need to stick with any new habit, you have to track them somewhere, maybe note it down, or maybe have some kind of a tracker app on your phone which will help you motivated to continue doing that habit. The third lesson is build identities and not behaviors. Whenever we are trying to form a new habit, we always think that these are the things which I want to do and this is how I will achieve it. So we think that, okay, I want to lose weight, so I'm going to eat healthy food from today. But if you have a little change in perspective, it can really help you to achieve that. What you can do is you can try to build identities and not behaviors. I'll give you a simple example. So when I was trying to work on my YouTube channel, when I initially started creating videos, I was not at all regular. But then I realized that if you have to succeed in YouTube, you have to upload a video every week almost. So I decided to think, okay, what would a person who wants to upload videos every week do? What would a YouTuber do who wants to upload videos every week? And instantly I decided to change my way of living according to that. I realized that if you have to do that, you have to constantly have some ideas in your mind which you want to create videos on. Note them down somewhere so that whenever you have free time, whenever you get the weekend, you can upload a new video. And then I started to work on it. So the best way is you can build identities. Try to see what would an ideal person do who has already achieved that habit, and then just do those things. Okay, if you want to, let's say, become a person who eats healthy food, whenever you are going out or whenever you are eating something, think about what that person would do. Okay, if he would do something, then you should do that thing itself. So what will happen is that because you are following the behaviors, the identity of that person itself, eventually you're going to become that person. The fourth lesson is that if you want to make a habit a part of your life, you need to make the cue a big part of your environment. In this book, James Clear has says that any habit starts from a cue. You get a signal to do that habit. Okay, so when it is morning, you get automatically a signal to wake up. Now, because you are already in your bed and maybe you see that there is light outside the house, you feel, okay, now it's morning and now I have to wake up. So similarly, if you have to do any kind of habit, you can make it a big part of your environment. When I started reading books, I was always very less motivated to do them. What I did was, when I decided that okay, I have to read books, then I started to create that environment. So I used to sleep with a book besides me, and whenever I woke up in the morning, I used to see I have already a book which is besides me, and I automatically started reading it in the morning. So that was the cue. I made it a part of my environment, and it helped me to start reading books. The fifth lesson is that habits can be easier to change in a new environment. Have you ever thought about why you are not productive in a place where you have been doing the same thing over and over again? I still remember that when I was a kid and I used to go to school, I was very bad at studies. And what my parents did, they enrolled me in a tuition class. So what happened that whenever I used to go to that tuition class, automatically my environment has changed. Now I am in a different place, so my mind has decided to work in a different manner. And the new habit which I built was studying regularly, at least for that time. My tuition used to last for 1.5 hours. So although I was still the same person, because my environment had changed, I was in a new environment, I was able to build that new habit of studying for at least that amount of time. The sixth lesson I learned was that you need to cut bad habits at the source itself. Many of us know that we have some bad habits in us, but we still continue to do it. One of the best way to cut them down is to cut them at the source itself. When I was getting addicted to Instagram, I used to browse Instagram for 3 hours, 4 hours every day. One day I realized this is getting too much. What I did was, I started using this app called Digital Wellbeing on my mobile phone. This app will block any other app on your mobile phone if you use it for more than a sufficient period of time. So I set a timer for Instagram for 0 minutes. So I could not open the app itself. And because of this, I was not even able to open the app. Social media is not very important. If you don't browse social media, you're not going to miss out on anything, but we still do it. And after wasting hours and hours, we regret it. So I cut the bad habit of browsing Instagram at the source. And because of that, I was able to give up that bad habit. The seventh lesson is the 2-minute rule. So this is a very easy rule that you can try to follow. When we try to start a new habit, it can be very intimidating. So I still remember that when I first started meditating, it was very difficult for me to stay in a place without doing anything for such a long period of time. So I decided to follow this rule. Now, not exactly 2 minutes, but I decided to meditate only for 5 minutes. So James Clear in this book has said that if you are starting any new habit, you can bring it down to its 2-minute version, which means that, let's say you're trying to start a habit of running. So just bring it down to doing running only for 2 minutes. If you're trying to start exercising, you can just do 1 push-up every day. And even after doing that for a lot of time, you will get the motivation that I have been doing this for a long period of time. Then you can increase it gradually, and that's how you can build up on that habit. The last lesson that I want to share is that build your own game. Whenever we are starting out something new, we try to compete with people who are already around. So if you start a YouTube channel, you're already competing with so many other YouTubers. Let's say you create comedy videos, you're already competing with thousands of YouTube channels who already create comedy videos. So if you do that, it is very likely that you are going to stay behind, because you're already playing a game in which so many people are the champions. So one of the best ways to start leading is to create your own game, build your own game. You can build your own game by combining things. You can build your own game by combining 2 or more skills which you have. It is highly likely that very few people will have that, because combining 2 things makes it very rare in the world, and you have it. So you have that advantage. So go out there and share it with people, and it is highly likely that you will stand out because you have combined 2 more skills. So these are 8 lessons which I learned from this book, Atomic Habits, and I highly recommend that you read this book. I think it is the best non-fiction book I have ever read. I would say that if there is one non-fiction book that everyone in the world should read, it is this one. So definitely read this, and I hope you guys like this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching. Bye.